Okay, so yeah, welcome everybody. So as you probably guessed from my accent, I'm in London. I'm Deborah Ives. I'm the founder of Solo in Style, and yeah, thank you so much for joining us. This is going to be a really nice interactive session. The idea being that that I will introduce you to Laura, my friend, my partner in crime, and Mallorca expert. And the idea being that we will share, well, she will share her expertise on some of the kind of beautiful things that she's discovered during her period living in Mallorca. But just to kind of start and set the scene, I started Solo in Style about probably about 10 years ago now. And then 2 or 3 years ago, Laura reached out to me and we connected and we started to talk about doing specialized solo tours, which we do together for our community and for members of our group. And obviously Mallorca is just one of the places that we go to. But Laura and I have been working very closely together on sort of building this community, nurturing everyone who's in it, and sharing lots of different experiences. So as I said, I'm in London. Let me hand over to Laura now, and she can introduce herself to you all.
Yes, thank you so much, all of you, for taking the time. I hope that I make this fun and interesting. I'm going to give you so much, and please don't think you have to take any notes. I mean, you can, obviously, but we did create a PDF with links for everything that I'm going to share with you. Of course, there might be some one-off things that I think of as I go, but I am wildly in love with this island. People ask me why I moved here, and I literally moved here because I just think it's one of the most incredible places I've ever been to in my life. My first visit here was in 2010. And I came here on an Eat, Pray, Love. As a matter of fact, the movie came out that year, and I was like, I'm going to Spain for 3 weeks on my own solo adventure. And I was supposed to go to Girona, Mallorca, Sevilla, Madrid. And I did Girona, Mallorca, Mallorca, Mallorca. I didn't want to leave. So I kept changing my flight. I changed it several times to go longer, to go longer. I just didn't want to leave the island because of everything I was seeing and doing and the people I was meeting and the food and the experiences. So, and then I went home and for years I just kept coming back 3, 4 times a year. I was bringing clients here for holidays. And then one day I just thought, nothing's holding me in New York. I can totally pack my bags and leave. And just if I don't like it, I'll come back in a year. It'll be an adventure. And I've now been here for 7 years, and I'm trying to convince all my friends to move here. So if you want to consider that, we can talk about that separately. But for today, I'm going to just show you the beauty of Mallorca. So if it's okay with everyone, I'm going to first share a 3-minute video just to kind of entice you a little about how beautiful it is here. And
Whilst you're getting ready, I forgot to say, if you have any questions, please just pop them in the chat. If there's something springs to mind as we go along, and then we can answer them. Laura can answer them as we make our way through.
Yes, that would be perfect, actually. Great. Okay, so I'm going to play the video and then we'll be back in 3 minutes.
Good that we rehearsed this, hey, Laura?
Yeah, I know.
We just spent setting
I know.
these things they're always a bit tricky.
I was telling Deborah, because I worked for a production company for many years, and I always had engineers doing everything. I was a producer for many years. I have no idea how to do anything. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I still love it.
We're seeing your cat. We're not seeing the video, Laura.
Oh, you're not?
No, we're seeing your cat.
Do you see it now?
No.
Ah,
Darn.
yes, that's very strange.
Okay.
Okay.
But you need to increase it.
Let me ask, did you see any of it?
No, you need to, it needs to be.
Okay, I'm just going to show you 1 minute. Okay, ladies, 1 minute.
Okay.
Well, that is a little overview. I'm including a longer video in the PDF that you'll receive, so you'll be able to look at something actually a little more inclusive than that one. I just didn't want something so long. But okay, so we are going to get started. First, I thought to start with best times to visit, and the truth is all the time. Honestly, because the most popular time is June, July, August. That's when this island gets so crowded with people. And in my opinion, it's the least great time to be here because it's really hot. But if you like really hot, then it's great. So I start with October. October is one of my favorite months because I live on an olive farm, and this is the month when we harvest the olives and turn them into olive oil. So and edible olives. But October's a beautiful month for harvests. November, we take the mushrooms from the forests. So it's really great. Like people just go hiking and fill their bags. I usually take a guide with me so I don't choose a poisonous mushroom. But November is also a big harvest month and wine month as well. December, we have the Christmas markets. It's absolutely incredible. I think the lowest temperature during the day in Mallorca is about 50 degrees. I don't do Celsius so well, so that's Fahrenheit. 50 degrees is the lowest temperature we usually see, and we don't see it that much. January, we have a celebration that is one of my favorites of the year. It lasts for an entire week. It's parties all over the island, which basically means that everything is closed and everybody's partying. We celebrate the patron saint of the city of Palma de Mallorca, but we do that with live music in the streets and concerts and um, food and cooking in the streets. So they put out all of these beautiful wood-fired barbecues, literally all over the island. And people come out, strangers, and just put their food on these grills and talk to each other. I remember the first year I did it, I forgot a spatula. So I had to ask the guy next to me, can you please flip my burger? So, but you get to know people and it's really amazing. That's January. February is the almond blossoms. We have millions and millions of almond trees on the island. So the entire island is pink and white in February, but we don't take the almonds until August. So August is when we actually harvest them. March, we focus on pottery and ceramics. We have a lot of festivals that are catered to that. April, we have the annual salt harvest. So Flor de Sal is a very famous salt here. It comes in every flavor, comes in garlic flavor, olive flavor, flower flavor. And May, we have the Flower Festival in Kostich. It's a beautiful, big flower festival where the entire village is covered in flowers. June, we have, and this lasts for about 2 weeks. And again, everything shuts down. So basically, if something breaks in your house, you're going to have to wait 2 weeks because the guy who is in charge of fixing that is partying. So, it's called the Night of Fire, but it really lasts for 2 weeks. The biggest night, though, is when everyone swims in the sea at midnight. And it's a really cool thing. It kind of kicks off the summer. You cleanse yourself of all your sins. It's the non-religious way to do it. July and August, very hot. I honestly don't recommend it, but if you're a person, like today was 95 degrees. If you like that, July and August is your time. September, I live in a village called Beni Salem. Beni Salem is the center of wine because we have, I think, 15 wineries all located in Beni Salem. We have the most precious soil for grape harvests. So Beni Salem for 2 weeks. We have Festes des Bermar, and that's where we're just drinking wine for 2 beautiful weeks. So that happens in September. Year round, the temperature here, as I said, is beautiful, except for super hot, in my opinion. What grows here in Mallorca? Olives, almonds, oranges, lemons, rosemary. You will see rosemary everywhere you go. It's just wild and beautiful. Purple flowers all over the rosemary, which is gorgeous. I had never seen that before. I'd only seen green. Mushrooms. We even have wild asparagus in the mountains. Celebrity visitors and homeowners. Rafa Nadal, obviously, is our biggest celebrity, the tennis player. Michelle Obama comes several times a year. There is one particular experience that Deborah and I like to include on our events, and I'm not going to tell you about it because I was sworn to secrecy, but if you come on an event, Michelle Obama does this particular experience. There's many like it. It's just very authentic, like with a very authentic family in a very authentic location. Brad Pitt, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Leonardo DiCaprio, Nicole Kidman, Ava Gardner used to come here all the time. So I'm going to show you now a map. I hope I get this right. I hope I get this right. Let's make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to show you a map of the island and just kind of explain where things are. Now, tell me if you see it.
We do.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so first of all, this is Mallorca. It's a very strange shape. And you can probably see this blue dot in the middle because that's me right now. This is where I live in Beni Salem. From this side over here, all the way down to here, this is the Tramuntana mountain range. It goes for about 90 kilometers. To me, it's the most beautiful. That's why I live where I live. It's at the foot of the mountains. But this entire side of the island, can you see my cursor, Deborah?
Yes.
Okay, good. So this entire side of the island is just mountains, absolutely beautiful. And then down here is the city of Palma de Mallorca. It's a tiny little blip on the island, but it's a huge city. My friends who come to visit from New York City, when they see Palma for the first time, they say, "Oh my goodness, I didn't realize it was so big." I haven't even seen the whole thing yet. It's enormous and it has everything. So it's one of the places we'll be talking about. And then basically the center of the island is pretty flat. You have a lot of farmlands here for various agro-turismo type experiences. This side is, we call it the East Coast, but all of the beaches there are beautiful. If you like a very calm turquoise water, that's this side. That's where all these beaches are amazing. Very touristy, though, I will say. But if you're okay with that, it's fine. But they're very popular. If you go in the off season, I think it's better because it's still warm. You can still swim in the sea in November. Uh, and the side where the mountains are, this is the side where the sun sets. So these beaches are a little more choppy water, a little darker, deeper seas, not as many sand beaches, more like pebble beaches. Over here we have Alcudia and Poyensa, very popular places to visit. I like them, but again, staying away from the very touristy areas. And that gives you a basic idea of the island. So I'm going to stop the share. And then I will move on to my list. So I cannot say these are the 20 best things in Mallorca because there's about 8,000 best things in Mallorca, but I picked 20 for today. And I'm going to start with spectacular locations. So I'll start with the city of Palma, which is something you have to see if you come here. I wouldn't spend most of my time in the city if you like agricultural experiences and country and mountains and beaches and real like authentic Spanish old school type things, because that you'll find in the smaller villages. But Palma is a huge city. It's on the sea, so there's actually a beach in front of it. There's a seaside promenade that has a walking path and a biking path. There's the cathedral that sits right in the front, and it's took 400 years to build this particular cathedral in Gothic style. It's absolutely beautiful. It has a rose window on one side that the sun shines through and reflects the rose window on the other side twice a year, 2 days. So if you can get into the church on those days, but these are the little like secrets that I'm still learning. The old town is absolutely beautiful. One of my favorite things in the old town is the convent of Santa Clara. And this is where the cloistered nuns bake cookies. So if you go there, you ring the bell, you hear a nun's voice because you can't see them, they're cloistered. You hear a nun's voice ask you which kind of cookies you want. I tell her I want the almond cookies. Then I deposit my money onto a shelf and she spins the shelf. It goes to her side. She takes the money, puts the cookies down, spins it back, and voila, I have my almond cookies. So I love going there because I just think it is the coolest thing to experience. But there's also things like the 300-year-old bakery. It's the first bakery in Palma de Mallorca. We have live music, ballet, theater, flamenco dancing, art galleries, restaurants, endless. I mean, it definitely gives New York City a run for its money. The restaurant game here is high. Lots of rooftop bars, incredible shopping. We have some big stores that you've heard of, like Zara, probably you've heard of, which I never knew. I always loved Zara. I didn't know it was a Spanish company. So the prices here are a lot cheaper. But we also have a lot of one-off stores that you can only find here, or products that are manufactured here. You can go to this is one word I have trouble saying, but the vermuteria. It's vermouth is what they sell, and that's it. It's vermouth. You get it for 2 or 3 euros. You get a glass of this, strange tasting wine. It's packed with people. It's very popular. It's the only thing they sell. They have 200 different kinds, but vermouth is a very big thing here. But that's the kinds of stores and bars and restaurants that you see. There's a castle in the city that's located at the top of a mountain filled with hiking trails, but you can also drive up to see the castle. Christmas markets galore. And we do have actually a trip this year in December for the first time that I'm going to take people to see the Christmas market. So that's going to be really fun. That's Palma de Mallorca. That's the city. Now I'm going to move on to Soyer. Soyer is basically on the side of the mountains that has the sunset. So you have to go over the mountains to the edge of the coast. And then you see a bunch of villages that are hidden over there because the only way to get to them is you have to go over or through the mountains. And Soyer is probably my favorite. And I would probably recommend Soyer if you're not looking to rent a car because you can easily take a taxi from the airport into the city, spend a few days there, and then you can take either the wooden train, which is a very old antique train that goes to Soyer, which is very beautiful. It's a one and done though. Once you do it once, after that, you're going to take faster transportation. You either take a taxi or you take a 30-minute bus that'll take you to Soyer. And once you're in Soyer, you can walk to almost everything, but you can also take taxis to short distances to many places. The bonus of Soyer is that it also has these other villages around it that are fantastic, like Balearic, Fornaluch. Fornaluch is known as one of the prettiest villages in Spain, not in Mallorca, but in Spain, Fornaluch. It's absolutely gorgeous to walk the little cities of streets. Dea, which I'm going to tell you about because Dea has my heart. Valdemosa, these are all places you can easily visit from Soyer. No need to rent a car. Soyer is surrounded by an amphitheater of the biggest mountains in Mallorca. So no matter where you look, you're seeing mountains, except if you look straight out to the sea, because Soyer has a port to Soyer, and there's a huge beach, and then there's a marina, and there's tons of restaurants on the coast there. Beautiful at sunset. It's a beautiful time to go. Soyer is also known for the orange blossoms and the oranges that they grow there. So in April, I want to say, the orange blossoms, you can smell them. I mean, you just can't escape the scent of orange blossoms in Soyer. It's incredible. And then, of course, when they're finally ready to be picked from the trees and made into juice or just sold for edible purposes. Also from Soyer, from the port, you can take a boat to Sa Calobra. The boat is, I think, $30 round trip, the equivalent of $30 round trip. And it's the most beautiful boat ride. Like that's, you can go on an expensive boat or you can do that. You can see the same thing. And then you go to Sa Calobra. Sa Calobra is a gorgeous mountain with beautiful beach. And hiking in Soyer, if that's something that you like to do, it's endless. And you can stay in the same hotel and just go a different direction every single day. And there's plenty of hiking. A lot of it is mountainous, but there are definitely some flat, beautiful walks. All right, I'm going to move on to Arta. Arta is in the top right-hand corner of the map that I showed you. So there is Parc de Llevant. This is an area of Mallorca that is protected. There are no houses. There's no cars allowed in there. It is a huge area. I mean, in order to hike from Arta to the beach, it would probably take you 2 hours. That's how long the walk is through this park. And you'll see nothing. I mean, you'll see beauty, but you won't see houses or cars are not going to go past you. And there are roads because they have to bring the forest people who work there, the forestry people who work there obviously have to drive to get everywhere. But these are where the most secluded beaches are. And Arta itself is a gorgeous village. It's very, very protective of its Spanish culture. So it really fights tourism. They like tourism, but they do not have a million hotels. They don't cater to the tourists like some other places. You're not going to see a million shops with like refrigerator magnets, is what I always say. You know, when you see a bunch of shops with, blow up toys for the beach or refrigerator magnets, you know that you're in a touristy place. So Arta really does fight that. They're near some of the most beautiful beaches, and there's some caves there that are stunning. We've taken the clients there before. Beautiful caves. You go on a tour, and it's just you've never seen anything like it. The millions and millions of years old, these caves, millions. It's hard to fathom. In Arta, you also have the Tuesday market, which there's a market every single day in Mallorca. And each day it's in 10 different villages. So it's these 10 villages on Monday, these 10 villages on Tuesday. In my opinion, Arta has the best one. It's huge. It's a lot of home goods, art. So it's not just the kitschy stuff, it's really good quality stuff, clothing, just and locally made things. So it's a really great one. And yeah, it's my favorite. It happens every Tuesday from, I think it starts at 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. So it's an early morning thing. And then after that, you head over to the beach. So that's Arta. And I was trying to kind of give you different areas of the island. So we went from Palma, which is in the south, a little up northwest to Soyer. Then we went kind of east, northeast to Arta. And now we're going to go to the center where I live, which is Beni Salem. So Beni Salem, I wouldn't recommend staying here unless you're staying in an Airbnb type of place and interested in the agritourism of this place. But if you like wine, you definitely have to do the wine tour. It's a wine tour of 15 wineries, and you go from one to the other and you get to sample. I mean, you can choose 5, right? I mean, I don't know. I've never done 15. So, but I have a couple of favorites. Biniagual. Biniagual is one of my absolute favorites. I can walk to it from my house. They have a beautiful garden in the background. It's never really crowded, and I don't know why. I think because it's just tiny. It's like this little hamlet of a place. A hamlet is something that maybe you know this, but there's no shops. The only thing every village has in Mallorca, and I know you're all muted, but you can probably guess, a church. There's a church everywhere. So it doesn't matter how there could be 4 houses, there's a church. So there is a church, and then there's, I want to say 25 houses. And then there's this winery, and it's one of the most beautiful. The wine is delicious, 2 to 3 euros per tasting. They bring you cheese, and it's just gorgeous. There's another wine that I absolutely love. It's at a different winery called Bodega Ribas, and it's called Sio, the wine, S-I-O. And it was named after the grandma. The grandma's name is Concepcio. And yes, that's a th. Concepcio was her name. So Concepcio at the end, they took the end of her name and they make this wine after grandma. The daughters all created this wine. They got together in honor of their mom. But it's called Sio wine. It's one of my favorite wines on the island, and it's made from Montenegro grapes, which can only be found in Mallorca. So we are the only place where Montenegro, it's not the country, it's the grape. And also, as I told you, we have Festes Bermar, which is the 2-week wine festival. We have that here. We have so many festivals here. No one will speak English to you here, and that is rare. This island, the reason my Spanish is not so great is because most people will speak English to you. But in this village, they really don't speak English. A lot of them don't speak Catalan. They speak Castellano, which is like the ancient language. But for that reason, I wanted to live here. I absolutely love it. I mean, last night there was a party going on. I walked into the village, and it is like music galore. It's just, they're always celebrating something on this island. They celebrate the almond, the olive, the pepper. There's a huge festival for peppers. It's like, if you like peppers, but even if you don't like peppers, like the party is fun. And also it's very lively. So Beni Salem, if you come even for dinner in the town square, some villages are very sleepy. Beni Salem is not one of those. Now we're going to move on to Dea. This is the 5th one. So Dea is my first love in Mallorca. My first visit here, I stayed for about 2 weeks, and Dea was one of the places where I stayed in a beautiful hotel, and it is just precious, like absolutely precious. It has a prehistoric history about it because people used to live in the caves of Dea, literally lived in caves, and those caves are still there for you to see. But now it's an artist village. So it attracts painters and writers and sculptors and musicians. It's very, very artist style, bohemian style type of place to be, which I love. The Dea Art Festival is in the summertime. It's amazing. And they do things like the Writer's Walk. The Writer's Walk is you go to 10 different locations in the village and you hear 10 different writers read a little snippet of one of their stories. It's just really nice. It also sits in a bowl of mountains like Soyer. And it's just got these tiny one. There's nothing like it. It's just, there's nothing like it, but very crowded in the summertime. So honestly, like January would probably be the best time to go there. It does have a beach, so that's lovely. And there's two restaurants down on the beach. And that is Dea. So I'm going to move on from places to experiences. I feel like I'm being a little.
Can we ask? We've got a couple
Yeah.
of questions, Laura, and it might be just good to do them now because they're related to places.
Okay, great.
So one question came from Rebecca about when you say that Palma is huge, as you're from New York City, is it, what US city is Palma de Mallorca comparable to?
Well, I guess that's a little hard to say but uh it's bigger. It's not as big as Manhattan, let's say. But it is, and I've never really thought about the size of it. But as far as what it has to offer, I'm not missing anything. There's a couple of products they don't sell here, like bagels. I can't get a bagel here. I can get bagels in New York, but it has everything. I mean, I think, yeah, it's hard to say, but I will say you will not be missing anything.
So according to Google, it's around as of 2021, 424,000 people live there.
Yeah. And the other that's half of the island. The other half are spread out in the rest of the island. Yeah.
And then this is a general question. From Laurence has asked about how expensive it is to live there. What's the cost of living there? And then a couple of ladies asking about because it is quite expensive to rent cars. What's the bus system or the train system or the local public transport like?
In my opinion, you have to rent a car if you want to see certain things. Like I said, Palma City, you don't need a car. If you're going to stay in a place like Soyer, which is a big village with a lot happening and access to a lot of things, then you'll be okay without a car. But I really do think, like, once you go out to Arta or once you go to the East Coast, where the beaches are that have the sand and the turquoise water, there's no transportation out there. So you're going to be in taxis the whole time for that. It's not the kind of place that you can use mass transit easily, but to certain places, yes. But if you're okay with renting a car, I would rent a car.
And the cost of living, yeah.
Well, I'm just going to tell you my health insurance is $67 a month, and it includes dental. That's my health insurance. I've never seen a bill. I don't even, I go to the doctor all the time. On my medication, I had to pick up something for my skin. It was €4. Yes, you can move into a very expensive house. But for instance, I don't usually tell people my rent, but I'm going to tell you, I live in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house on an olive farm that's 7,000 square meters, and I pay €1,000 a month, and I includes my gardener. So that's rare though. So I would say I got a good deal, but I would say this is 2,000. This is about 2,000. Like you can easily find this for 2,000. 1,000, no. I got lucky with that. I see a couple of questions. I'm not sure. Can you write down the name of the third place?
Yeah, I did that. It was Fornaluche.
Good. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so we can move on to the experiences.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of my favorite wine tastings has a barbecue dinner that happens at sunset, and they play music. People get up and dance. It's a wonderful family. They've owned the land for 25 generations. 25 generations. They make wine, they make olive oil. Canfeliu, Canfeliu, Canfeliu. My favorite wine tasting barbecue dinner. It's amazing. For an olive oil experience, San Moragues. And this is in Valdemosa, which you can easily get to from Soyer. San Moragues is a huge olive farm on a mountain. So it's like this. and you walk around. They tell you how they make the olive oil. I mean, I think they won the gold medal in New York City 2 years ago. We had a really good crop 2 years ago. But they also make dishware. They make gin. They weave their own blankets. It's just a wonderful experience to go there because this house was owned for many years by a very, very wealthy family. It's enormous, but the property is equally gorgeous. San Moragues. For an almond experience, Sanpo, Sonpou. Sanpo is where it's the largest almond farm in Mallorca. And one of the main delicacies here is almond cake. But then we also have almond milk and just flavored almonds to eat. And there's so many things that they create out of the almonds. But Sanpo does an amazing experience, again, where they walk you around, show you everything, and then sit you down for a lovely meal. So that's 3 experiences. The 4th one I was going to say is hiking. If anyone likes to hike, it's the #1 sport on this island, even though people think it's cycling. It's not cycling, it is hiking. So hiking everywhere, just walking through nature. I mean, it's my meditation, but it's endless. It's endless. And there's a famous hike that goes from one end of the mountains to the other. So it is 90 kilometers. And a lot of people do that with stops in different hotels. So if hiking is your thing, this is a very good place to go for that. And the 5th thing I did put was the Arta market, which I already told you about. So, but that's definitely noteworthy. And if you don't make it to the Arta market, let me put another one in since I just said that, but the Consell flea market, Consell. Consell flea market is incredible, incredible. They just have like things from 400 years ago, that someone just pulled off the wall of their house and put it up for sale for like $100. And then you should just offer them 20. They'll probably take it. All right, I'm going to move into hotels. I'm taking up a lot of time. Did we have any questions?
We do. We just got one here. Do people have pets? They don't know, obviously, about your pets.
Well, I'm the cat lady.
Yes.
I have 2 indoor cats, 2 outdoor cats. There's a lot of feral cats on this island, a lot. And I work with an organization that tries to keep that to a minimum. But yes, people have a lot of pets here, a lot of dogs. Very different how they treat them, especially the Spanish community. They leave them outside. And, as an American, my animals are sleeping in the bed. They have like, very expensive pillows that I buy for them. And, but it's just a different thing. But yes, lots and lots of pets. And people have wild animals too, meaning like sheep and goats, but they live on farms. So they have a beautiful life. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the hotels and the types of hotels on the island. Of course, you have luxury. And if that's your thing, you can easily do luxury on this island. Some of the events that we're doing, we've found like the utmost luxurious experience, and some of them not as expensive as you'd think, still luxurious. But there's also agritourism. So you want to stay on a farm, and you're not roughing it. Your room is beautiful, but you're staying on a farm, but you want that experience. So probably a lot of what you're going to eat at this particular hotel, agritourism hotel, is grown on the farm. And then you have cities, villages, remote nature. You can stay seaside. You can sleep in a monastery. I've done that a couple of times. So there's many monasteries on this island that you can actually book for a night. And in the off season, I think it's like 20 euros a night. In season, it could get a little bit higher, but it's an amazing experience because it's just usually in a very quiet area at the top of a mountain, like just beautiful. And then, of course, there's private villas. But I'm going to go on to my 5 that I picked for you for today. And my #1, Deborah and I know this because we rented it 3 times this year in its entirety for our clients, and that is Canbeneit. Canbeneit, Canbeneit. And it is, I mean, when I check people into this hotel, they text me, oh my God. And then they text me pictures of all the gifts that the staff left in their room. And then they text me that the owner just bought them a glass of wine. And that it's the most amazing hotel at the foot of the mountains, only 10 rooms. Beautiful owners, beautiful experience. That's Canbeneit. Then The next one is in Dea. Now, Dea, I told you, has my heart. It was my first love in Mallorca. And there's very expensive hotels like La Residencia, which was founded by Richard Branson, but then he sold it and tried to buy it back and lost the bid. So he doesn't own it anymore. But it's very expensive. So I would stay at Hotel Des Puig, Despuig, Hotel Des Puig. And that hotel is not expensive at all. It is right next to La Residencia. The rooms are beautiful. It's just a really special place. So you will not be disappointed. And you'll be able to afford their top room. You could get their most expensive room. It's very affordable. Now I'll go to Soyer since I told you that it's a great place to stay. There's a place called L'Avenida. L'Avenida, Avenida, L'Avenida. It only has 12 rooms. It's walking distance to everything. It's wonderfully warm, beautifully clean. And if you look it up, you'll see the first picture that comes up of the rooms, just absolutely stunning. In Palma, one of my favorites is El Llorenc, Llorenc. So double L is a Y. So El Llorenc. And Llorenc is right on the sea, beautiful views, gorgeous roof deck with a restaurant. Every room is completely different. It's just so unique, but very high end. And it's not overly priced. It's, I don't know because every month is different. But that is one of my favorite hotels in Palma. There's so many though, I have to be honest. So you can just message me after this if you need more. The final one is near Arta. And the reason I give you this one is, believe it or not, it's very hard to find a hotel on the sea that does not feel touristic. So yeah, you can stay on the sea. You can go to Arenal. Don't go to Arenal ever. Don't even go there for a dinner. Don't go to Arenal. This is where the tourists flock. There are no local people there. And it is hotel after hotel after hotel. So yes, you're going to stay right on the beach, but that's not what I would sell. So Can Simonetta. Can Simonetta is the most beautiful hotel on the sea in Mallorca. And Richard Branson owns a hotel. And he says it's on the sea. It has views of the sea, but there's no beach. So I think Can Simonetta blows his hotel away, even though he does everything wonderful. But I think this one blows his away. So those are my 5. And now all we have left is the restaurants. So it's absolutely impossible. I think I changed this list like 6 times. But were there any questions about hotels?
Not about hotels, but we have a few. Okay. So a couple of ladies are asking about the tours that we do and where we take our which hotels we use. Maybe, and someone's just generally asking, can we cover the tours at the end? Thank you, Susie. That wasn't.
Yes. I can actually show you.
Yeah, but there is a question about, and maybe you want to leave this till the end, about the dynamics of the locals and the tourists, because I think we read a lot about that in the press.
I mean, this island is, they all make their money off of tourists. So it is not the aggressive thing that you see happening. I don't ever feel that. I don't see it. And I'm always bringing clients here. So I'm always with clients, bringing them to so many different places. And I've never really felt that. I know there is a feeling of it, but I think it is when all of a sudden the Spanish people can't afford an apartment because they're turning everything into Airbnbs and I get that. But Mallorca does a very good job. Mallorca to me is like its own little country. It does a very good job of preserving. Like even the house that I live in could not be built upon. It really needs a second floor because if I had a second floor, I could see the entire mountain range. But I don't have a second floor and it's completely illegal to put another square foot onto this house because they really, really do. They're careful with that. So yes, no, do not worry about that. They love Americans here. As a matter of fact, most of the hotels tell me Americans are their favorite clients. So even though we don't have a lot of New Yorkers coming, I wish we did, but I'm working on that. The place where our clients stay in, I'm going to show you that at the end. So let's go through the restaurants. First of all, in Palma, if you want great food, lively atmosphere, stunning views, you go to Sky Nudos. Sky Nudos, SKY like sky, NUDOS. Sky Nudos is an upper level pier. So you're out on a pier, sitting in the upper level in beautiful couches and chairs and like lounge type experience. There's also a bar and then there's regular tables. The food is incredible, but you can see the cathedral, you can see the castle, you can see the water, you can see all the huge sailboats in the marina. Beautiful views and food, and very lively. So especially if you're traveling alone, I was trying to think of what our solo travelers would like. Then there's Living Dreams. Living Dreams, I've spent many a birthday there because they have this gorgeous garden in the back. Living Dreams actually makes furniture that I could never afford. Like a table is 40,000 euros, not even kidding. But they decorate the entire restaurant with their $40,000 tables. So, I mean, you could probably get one for 10,000, but I don't know that you can get less than that. So, but this has great food, great service, because service is important, especially to, I think, to Americans, people who are used to good service. It's a little hard when like no one brings you a menu and you sat down 10 minutes ago. Living Dreams has great service, amazing food. Deborah and I just went there.
Yeah, delicious. Yeah, fabulous.
And then we have Lila Portals, Lila Portals, Portals. That is just outside of Palma. So you can take the bus or you can grab a short taxi ride. But it's on a cliff overlooking the water, and it's not fancy at all, extremely affordable, but really delicious. And the drinks are great. And the service, I mean, the people who work there are so happy. I don't know how the management manages to do that, but kudos to them because the people who work there are very happy. So Lila Portals, Traorer, which is one of the hotels I'm going to show you. This is where we're staying in December for our Christmas markets experience that we're doing here with clients. They're staying at Traorer for the first 5 nights. It's an olive farm. It's a huge olive farm. And they do 4 nights a week. They do a tour and then dinner. So they show you how they make the olive oil, or they show you the trees, or they show you, each night is a different experience. You get to taste the olive oils, or you get to taste the barbecue, so every night is different. I'm going on Saturday with a friend of mine because just being there is so soothing. It's just a wonderful experience. So Treurer is Treurer. Again, I'm going to send you all of this. And finally, La Malvasia. How do you say that wine? Malvasia? Malvasia? Is anyone a big winey? I don't know. I'm not a big wine person. I kind of like tequila, but La Malvasia in Palma is a really great restaurant that pairs most of their Mediterranean dishes with white wine because they have a farm that produces the Malvasia grape, which is a white wine. And it's just it's in a perfect location in the center of the city. It's not expensive at all, like 20 to 30 euros for dinner and some wine. It is very affordable here if you know where to go, I'll be honest. You can spend a fortune or you can ask me where to go. But La Malvasia. Okay, that's my speech. Ooh, we have 11 minutes left.
So we just got a question
Yeah.
before I've just dropped into the chat the link for our 2026 tours.
Great.
So of course Mallorca features heavily on there, but just as information, we do also, Laura and I do also do beautiful curated tours to Italy. Morocco is already full, right? Sicily is launching this week, different parts of Italy. So I've shared the link for all of those. And then there's another question from Susie saying, did you move here on your own? And is it easy to meet people?
Extremely, extremely easy. There's a huge expat community here. So this is, again, why my Spanish is not so great. There's so many people who speak English. And I lived in Soyer, one of my favorite villages, for 4 months. I was waiting on this house. I hadn't found it yet. But I said, I'm going to go live in Soyer for 4 months, but I don't know anybody in Soyer. So I put it on Facebook. I'm moving to Soyer. If anyone in Mallorca lives there, please let me know. And some woman reached out to me and said, I live here. Would you like to come up for a coffee? Literally, like we're a little back in time here to where you go borrow a cup of sugar from your neighbor and it's very, even when I fix things in my house, the guy he came to fix my hot water stopped working. He fixed it and he left and he didn't charge me anything because he was missing a part. I don't even know when he's coming back. I haven't seen him since because it's working. The hot water's work. But like he didn't charge me anything. Like I know when he comes back, he's going to charge me. He's probably going to charge me 25 euros. You know, it's just incredible. So very easy to meet people. So many communities here. It doesn't matter what you're into, you will find a community that is into that here in Mallorca. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a question. Actually, I don't see the lady actually on the call, but as we're going to distribute the recording out to everyone who registered, a lady submitted a question earlier about what things are open out of season. And
Oh, that's a great question. So the city is always open. And obviously like December, even January, like the Three Kings Day is January 6th, I think, is way more popular than Christmas here. That's a big deal. So like December, January, the city is just bustling. But yes, the agroturismo hotels that are located like deep in nature, some of them do close for November, December, January, February for 4 months. And then, yes, there's some restaurants that close, but if you know where to go, you're never going to run out. You know, you're never going to run out things to do and places to see. So like I said, you can come here anytime. And I would come at the least touristy time if you're into that. You will not feel like you're missing anything. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly show you a few photographs of one of the hotels. I should show you Tony's hotel, but I'll start with this.
olive oil is amazing as well.
I know, I know. Well, we have 8 minutes. Maybe I will have time. So, do you see that?
We do.
Okay, so this is the hotel for December. And one of the reasons I'm showing it to you is a pitch because we have, I think, one spot left. We might have two, but I think we have one spot left for this particular trip. So this is the hotel located in the middle of nature. These are the walks you can take through the olive gardens. This is the wine you can drink looking at Ronda Mountain. There's a monastery at the top where you can spend a couple of nights if you want to arrive early. Swimming pool, again, swimming pool. There's their olives. I think they have the best olive oil on the island. It's my favorite. It's very strong. They show you how they make the olives. This is how they get them from the trees. This is they do it all themselves. So these are their classes. They have a common area that has an open bar. You just write down what you took. So you make your own gin tonic, and then you write down you took a gin tonic, and which I thought was so fantastic. They'd go out of business between me and you, Deborah. Like
I know. They don't know how much gin I can drink.
we put a hefty amount in there. So these are the rooms
in their bottle. Yeah, that's for sure.
This is a suite. This has a private terrace. This is the living room. Then there's the bedroom. There's bathtubs in every single room. Is only 9 rooms. So I like to choose very small hotels. Deborah and I, as a policy, we try to buy out the whole hotel at all times. For this particular one, we didn't because we had never hosted a Christmas market event, but we probably could have because we're getting very close to selling out now.
And Susie's just said she wants this last spot. So if you
really?
Susie, send Laura an email or me an email.
Yes. Well, Susie, you're in. You can have it. Yeah, absolutely. It's breathtaking. It's just a breathtaking experience. The food is incredible. And that's the view. Yeah. What else? Do you want to see Tony's hotel?
There's just another question whilst you're finding that, if you want to
Go ahead.
That, and this is from Yvonne, and she's considering adding Mallorca to a trip already from May 1st to 4th. Is it okay to visit on May the 1st? Because that's the whole, I guess it's a holiday. It is in most European countries, right?
Oh, is it a holiday? What's the holiday?
So well, May Day. So yeah. So
Oh.
So I don't know if that would make a big difference to visiting Mallorca or not.
No. I mean, from April on, everything's open. Yeah. And anything like a hotel or a restaurant that's catering to, making their money from people who are partaking in these things, they're not closing from April to November for sure. This is the hotel we rented 3 times this year. It's I just feel like home when I'm here.
Yes, I want to live there.
It's incredible. They only have 10 rooms. This is Combinate. It's owned by Tony and Tony. They're both Mallorquin men and they're married. Every room is completely different, but beautiful with outdoor space. They make their own olive oil because this used to be an olive production family. And he bought the place in 2020 and turned it into a hotel. So, but it's like, this is what we like. I don't really love modern decor. I like wooden doors. I like, you know, green shutters and cotton and linen, and I like to see nature. And so most of the hotels we work with are that. They have a garden where they get a lot of their food. Their chef is a Michelin chef, and he's in his 20s. What else? Yeah, it's someone going to the spa. They have a beautiful little spa area that you rent privately. You see these little 2 chairs. You rent this privately. It doesn't cost anything if you're staying at the hotel. You just tell them, I'm going into the garden for an hour. Don't let anybody in. And then you sit here, and right next to it is a sauna. And you just go back and forth from the warm pool to the sauna. And it's beautiful. I've stayed in this room. I've stayed in a lot of the rooms.
It is so lovely. They look after us so well there. It's just, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this little balcony is with this room, and look at that view. It's just, it's quite something. So I am going to stop sharing, and I want that spot. Susie.
Yeah, so Erica also wants to join us in February, so next year. So that's great. So you can
Awesome.
VP via the web link I shared, or just drop an email. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trip to Canbanate, is that next February?
February is Combinate, what I just
The
showed
ones
you.
we've got this year are full, right? November. We're doing November at Canbanate, but that's full.
Yeah.
Just filled. We had a cancellation, but we just filled the last spot.
Yeah, February is the almond blossoms, and I don't like hot weather, so I love February. I like to wear a little sweater for dinner, but you can eat out all year long here, because even the restaurants that have outdoor seating, they bring the heated lamps, they give you little blankets, and it's not that cold that you're uncomfortable. It's, you know, of course there could be a couple of nights that the temperature drops and everybody goes inside, but pretty much year round you can eat outdoors, which I love. So what else? Any other questions that you
Unless anybody's got anything else, thank you everybody for your questions. These are really good ones, and clearly a lot of you are thinking about going on your own, possibly spending a lengthy time there, which is exciting. So Laura's a very good contact to have.
Yeah. Feel free to send me an email. I love talking about Mallorca. I probably will send you 3 paragraphs. Hopefully it's not too much, but I get very into it. And yeah, if you would like to come on any of our trips and you just want to ask some questions, reach out.
Yeah, so I will send an email probably tomorrow. The questions just come in about the PDF. I'll share the PDF with all the details and also the link to this recording. So I'll send that out probably first thing tomorrow morning. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much.
Your passion just comes through. By the way, I am going to come and live with you. You do realize that.
I have extra bedrooms.
Yeah.
You just have to pick a cat.
Okay, I'll pick a cat. Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, wherever you are. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. I'm going to stop the recording.